From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your evening update.
Dennis's Heating and Air Conditioning is Northern California's premier heating and air conditioning contractor. From residential housing, large commercial projects, installation to repair, sheet metal fabrication, and everything in between, we are your go-to heating and air conditioning specialist.
Well, many of you asked for it. You wanted warmer temperatures, and we are going to get it. And the winds that we saw today, which weren't terrible, right? But certainly that nuisance wind, they should die down here for tomorrow. We got a warming trend the next few days with cooler weather. Yes, can you believe it? Another cooling trend toward the end of the week. And not to mention some wet weather by Friday going into the weekend. We'll take a closer look at that here in a second. Here's your neighborhood outlook for tomorrow at a glance. Oh yeah, temperatures back around 80 degrees in the valley. There you can see for Trinity County, not too far behind at 75. Upper 60s to around 70 in Siskiyou County. Look at that. Eastern Mountains, Modoc County, mid to upper 60s. And the North Coast, well, we're probably going to see some low clouds and some fog in some areas here, especially for the first half of the day. But temperatures getting close to around 60 degrees. All right, so here's the breezy setup that we saw today. The low pressure to our east, high pressure that's building in as we speak. The difference between the two, and of course that flow kind of coming down, gives us that classic north wind, but that all pretty much dies out with those winds as high pressure builds in. Now the peak of the warming trend will be on Wednesday, and I'm expecting temperatures well into the 80s for the valley here as we go into Wednesday. But notice the arc in the ridge of high pressure. It's not very strong, so it's not going to get terribly hot, but certainly a lot warmer than we'll be experiencing. But wouldn't you believe it? You see this guy right up here? That's what's going to be here later on this week. It's going to slowly ride down to the south. As it does that, it's going to push the warmer air down to our south and east, and as a result, our temperatures start to drop. The peak of the cooling trend will be here sometime this weekend around Saturday or Sunday, where those temperatures go from the 80s down to the 60s. We're going to be looking at about another 20-degree drop, maybe more than that in some cases here from Wednesday as we go into the weekend. That cooler air then pushes itself eastward. We see temperatures start to slowly increase going into early next week. Now, as far as chances for rain are concerned, of course, we're talking about mainly sunny skies here as we go into your Tuesday. As I mentioned, though, we will see some of the low clouds and fog kind of hovering around parts of the coast. A couple of puffy cumulus clouds developing in the afternoon for some of the higher elevations, but still looking at dry conditions. And then as we go into your Wednesday, we have a weak disturbance kind of bringing a chance for some rain up to our north, but we stay dry for your Wednesday. And looking at the long range, there's that, again, that colder air moving down, but there's also rain associated with it. Now, as early as Friday, we may see some showers in advance of it, but for the most part, I think Friday will probably be a dry day. And then the main event comes in on Saturday with the chance for some rain. Snow levels starting off fairly high, around 5,000 feet. And then you can see the area of low pressure. It kind of lingers in the area on Sunday, that is, continuing to bring us a chance for some showers on Sunday. Snow levels around 4,000 feet at that point as some colder air moves in. Then by Monday, that moves on out and will dry things out by the time we do get into your Monday. But look at this. You can see cold air up to our north, but also some more rain coming in from the west. That may impact us in the long range, but of course, now we're getting way out, and it's too early to predict whether or not that's going to have an impact on us. But bottom line, still tracking and monitoring that cooler weather and possibility for some showers here as we approach this upcoming weekend. Your wave heights, as we take you into your Tuesday, they may increase a little bit here, but shouldn't be too much of a concern, and then maybe increasing even a little bit more going on into your Wednesday. So your marine forecast for your Tuesday, north winds at 10 to 15 knots, waves from the northwest at 7 feet at about 12 seconds, and there you can see, of course, that patchy fog that we will see not only along the coast, but even out to sea as well. Temperatures not quite as cold as they have been, but still just kind of hovering around that freezing point for Modoc County, eastern mountains, and eastern portions of Siskiyou County. But places like Mount Shasta, Weed, Etna, mid to upper 30s. For the valley, dropping down to the upper 40s for those overnight lows into early tomorrow morning. For Trinity County, upper 30s, low 40s. Along the coast, temperatures in the low to mid 40s, and that's pretty much going to be the case here for the inland areas as well. All right, so here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Temperatures, yes, looking pretty nice. In the 70s here, dry through Thursday, maybe a chance for showers as early as Friday, but I think the bulk of it will be here by the weekend. There's a look at your North Coast neighborhood forecast, upper 50s to low 60s, although inland, more like the low 70s for your daytime highs. Orleans, 71, 72 degrees for Hoopa, and there's Willow Creek with a high of about 73 and 59 degrees out in Orick. Here's your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. Temperatures will mainly be in the upper 60s to low 70s for western Siskiyou County. Central eastern Siskiyou County, probably somewhere in the low 60s, especially for places like Doris, McDowell, and not to mention Tennant. And again, that slight chance for some activity starting off around 5,000 feet Friday, 4,000 feet Saturday, and then Sunday back up to about 5,000 feet. There's your Modoc County neighborhood forecast. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s for your daytime highs, keeping it dry and warmer going into the middle of the week. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast with 71 for Shingletown, 65 in Mineral, and 67 degrees for Portola. And your your Valley neighborhood forecast, that is, brought to you by NorCal Tractor. Where, of course, we're looking at those temperatures. You know, I think many of us will probably touch that 80-degree mark, but bottom line, it's going to be a lot warmer than it has been. 81 for Redding, 81 for Cottonwood, 80 out in Red Bluff, and looks like that's the case also for Lakehead. So here is your 7-day outlook for Redding. Temperatures increasing. The peak will be on Wednesday. Could get in the mid, maybe upper 80s, although upper 80s may be pushing it. And the temperature starts to drop again after that. Thursday, still not bad with a high of 82, but we drop down to the 70s by Friday, and there are those 60s by the weekend.